Hi everyone, welcome to SAP Technologies. So today we will see what is ERP and so what are the various systems available in ERP. So what is in SAP and why we have to go for SAP. What are the various models available in SAP? And if you learn any SAP course, right, how would be the career in SAP? And what is a different typical organization structure? And we will see before implementing SAP how the organization structure would be, and after implementing SAP how it would be. And we will see as a part of since we will be learning production planning and control model, right? We will see the course more. First, I'll explain to you what is here. See, before introducing SAP, right, we should be knowing what is ERP. I'll tell you what is ERP. So actually, ERP is nothing but no. So it's an enterprise resource planning. So actually, the main objective of this ERP, any ERP is right to optimize the three M's. Three M's are nothing but money, missions, and materials. See, if you see any organization, no, any organization will be work around these three: money, missions, and materials. So if you're able to optimize these three factors, right? Three M's like money, missions, and materials, so that organization will be succeed. So that is the reason the main objective of any ERP system is based on these three M's: money, missions, and materials. And the main this ERP is nothing but it's a software solution, okay, which provides which helps the organization, right, to manage and automate the business process like planning, purchasing, production, sales, and finance. So what are the different departments we have in the organization? No? So to automate their business process and to handle how to manage their business process. So especially in any organization, right? So if you see, if you take any organization, that organization will be having these departments. If you take manufacturing industry, this production will be there. Other than this manufacturing industry, right? If you take this planning will be there, purchasing will be there, sales will be there, finance will be there. So that is depending on the industry to industry. These departments or business units will be there. Okay, so that is the reason now we'll have to use any ERP tool, I mean ERP system, to optimum utilization of this money, machines, and materials in the organizations. See, in the industry, in the market, no, we have multiple ERP systems. So what are the multiple ERP systems we have in the market? We will see. So these are the different ERP systems are there in the market. SAP, Oracle, Kanban, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, and Microsoft Dynamics. I think you might have aware of you might have here no some of these ERP systems like SAP, Oracle, PeopleSoft. I'm not sure whether you guys have heard about this brand or not, but this SAP you might have heard Oracle, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, and Microsoft Dynamics. So these are the various ERP systems available in the market. And out of this ERP systems, right? Why SAP is leading in the market? So if you see in the market, no, SAP is take over more than 70% of the share in the market. So why it is leading in the market? I'll explain to you. Okay. So have you guys heard of about this other ERP tools? Can you just tell me what are the ERP tools you have here? Anyone of you? So have you heard about SAP, Oracle, PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, Microsoft Dynamics? So all these are all ERP related systems only. But out of these ERP systems, most of the companies will use SAP, and in the second place, Oracle is there. So after that, the remaining ERP systems, some of the companies are using. I think Santosh, you might have used SAP, right, as a end user.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so then we will see why SAP is leading in the market. See, because of these advantages, right? See, if you are using SAP, the main advantage in SAP, right? Integration. Integration is nothing but it will coordinate all the departments. For example, right, if you take any organization, so any organization will be having different departments or business units. We call them as a business units also. Like as I mentioned earlier, right? Planning, purchasing, finance, production, sales, HR, like that. So in SAP, what will happen, right? It will integrate all these departments. Okay. I will explain in more detail in the further slides. Okay. So because of that reason, SAP is leading in the market. So the other ERP systems, what you have seen earlier, right? So these other ERP systems other than SAP, they don't have this integration. So because of that reason, they are in the next place. Okay. The second factor is flexibility. So this SAP system is more flexible and reliable and trustworthy and more user friendly. So when you are any business user, right? If they are working on SAP system, it is more user friendly. This is most important in any organization. So if you even if you implemented this SAP or any other ERP systems in the organization, right? Then ultimately, if the end users are not comfortable with the system, okay, so then the system or the project will get failed. So that is most important thing. So that is the reason compared to other ERP systems, this SAP is more user friendly. So because of that reason, what will happen, right? So if the user is comfortable to work in this any of the ERP systems like SAP, so then they will show their interest to work on this SAP system, I mean the ERP system. So once they have comfort with this system, then they will start working and they will provide their inputs or whatever the requirements they have, they will start working with this SAP system. So that is the major thing. For example, right, in any SAP implementation project, so see that this is a major factor. This user, the end user working at the end, what call. So end user using the system, no, that is most important thing. If the end users are not comfortable with the system, any ERP system, not only SAP or Oracle, Canva, Kanban, PeopleSoft, anything, if they are not comfortable with that system, then they don't want to use the system. They wanted to use whatever the existing software or existing system they're using, right? They wanted to use that system software. They don't want to adopt this new functionality. Then what will happen, right? Most of the SAP projects will be failed if the end users are not comfortable with the system. That means, so as a part of SAP project implementation, what we will do, we will we will encourage, we will motivate, and we will explain, we will provide the trainings to the end user. So how to use the system, how they can utilize the system more effectively. So after implementing the SAP project, right? If the users are start, if the users started using the SAP system effectively, then the projects will be successful. So otherwise, even as a consultant, right? If we have implemented the SAP project successfully, if the end users are not comfortable and they are not using the SAP system in the real time, then even though as a consultant we have implemented the project successfully, if they are not, if the users are not using effectively, then that project we can say it is a failed project. So that is the reason this plays major role in any SAP implementation projects. So that is the reason now in SAP implementation projects as a consultant, we have to provide effective training to the end users. So once you provide the effective training to the end users, once you make them as a comfort with the system, no, then they will start using the system. Otherwise, if you don't make them as a comfort, then they are not interested to use the system. They wanted to use the existing whatever the legacy systems they are following, right? They wanted to use the legacy systems. So that is the reason we have to keep in our mind whenever we are implementing any project. So whenever we are giving training to the end user, no, we should think from their shoe point. Okay. So this plays a key role in SAP implementation. So because of these reasons, no, SAP is playing a, key role in the market. So generally we are hearing this SAP, right? Uh, as a consultant, no, in outside, most of people call it as a SAP. I think you guys have hear about that, right? So as a consultant, we should have practiced this. We should not say as SAP. In SAP means, right, in German, that meaning is different. So that is the reason, no? As a consultant, you should not say it as a SAP. You should say it as a SAP. So then only in the interviews or outside also, people can recognize you whether you are a real-time consultant or not. So if you are saying, if you say, right, I am a SAP consultant, then it is fine. If you say I am a SAP consultant, then other guys, other person, right? If he's also from SAP side, then definitely will come to know that you are not the real-time consultant. So this is one of the important thing. This won't impact anywhere, but this is one of the important thing to recognize us, right, as a real-time consultants. We should not say SAP, we should have say SAP. So SAP stands for Systems, Application, and Products in Database. This we'll see in more detail. So coming to this SAP, right? This SAP, initially it was developed and formed by 5 IBM ex-employees in 1972. Okay, so currently the employees in SAP is more than 100K, and the customers also more than 440K. The revenue, this is a world revenue, 23. This is till the 23, 31 billion euros. Okay, so in SAP, right? Since it is a industry-oriented software solution tool, so that was the reason SAP is being implemented in all kind of industries, like automobile industries, aerospace industries, and the pharmaceutical industries, consumer related industries, any industry. If you take any industry, right? So SAP is having solutions for such kind of industries. Okay. So that was the reason, no, it is leading in the market compared to other ERP systems. See, if you see the evolution of SAP, initially it was developed in 1972. Currently, this is till from this 2015, right? After that, currently we are following this S4 HANA, the latest version in S4, SAP. I'll come from this beginning. So initially, right, when it was initially developed, so it was a single tier architecture. This are, I'll explain what are these three tier, sorry, one tier architecture, two tier architecture, three tier, DCs and S4 HANA. So initially it was developed on single tier architecture. That means whatever the servers they have, right, all the servers will be designed in one single server, right? Single what call single instance. We call it as instance. Okay. So later it was developed as R2. Okay. And later it has been developed to R3, and later it has converted developed as ECC. So this is nothing but enterprise central component. So there is no much difference from R3 to ECC, and the latest version is S4 HANA. So here you may ask one question: what is R1, R2, R3, and ECC and S4 HANA? So here, right? So in SAP we have a client and server based environment. This client and server based environment is nothing but in SAP we have three different servers. From this R3 onwards, it has this SAP is having three client and server based concept. Before that, it has only one server. This one server is having all the three clients like development client, testing client, and a production client. Whereas in coming to this R2, it has split it into two servers. One is development server, and another one is for testing and production. Coming to this R3, right? So it has divided into three different servers. So three different server means one server is for development, complete, that is for complete development. Only development related activities will be done in that particular server. Okay. And the second server is quality server. We call it as a quality server or testing server. So in that second server, only testing will be done. And third one is the production server, which will be used in the real time by the business people. So like that, no, it has been divided. So same structure will be continued in ECC and S4HANA. Here the database will be little bit different. Coming to this S4HANA, right? Till this ECC, the database which is being used in SAP is Oracle database. Okay. So coming to this S4HANA, they have developed separate database for this. So that is the reason, no? So compared to this, other than S4HANA, whatever the database structure we have, right? So it is being, it was taking some long, I mean, no, what called, some huge time to retrieve the data from the database. Whereas in S4HANA, it has developed a new database. Okay. So this is completely developed by the SAP people. Okay. In this S4HANA database, the data retrieval will be faster than these other ECC versions. So that means in S4 HANA, the main advantage is retrieving the data. If the retrieving the data from the database, if it is more faster, so then what will happen? Whatever the functionalities we are using in the S4 SAP system, so we will get the output. We will get the output with what do you call? So with the very faster, I can say. I can you can get the output very fast. Okay. So that is a major advantage in S4 HANA. And in S4 HANA, they have developed some few apps. So few apps is nothing but slowly we'll come to know that what is the difference between ECC and other ERP tools, ERP versions, and S4 HANA. These things now I'll explain to you in more detail. So compare the main difference between this is database. Okay. So after that, in S4 HANA, in till the CCC, right, we are using some transaction codes. Whereas in S4 HANA, instead of using transaction codes in S4 HANA, we will use some tiles. Okay. These things we will discuss in more detail. Okay. So as of now, any questions? I will take some pause. Okay. So if there are no questions, I will move forward. Okay. So as I told you right earlier, this R3 client server structure, right? This we call it in SAP as a landscape. SAP R3 system landscape. You can see here. This is one server, development server, quality server, and production server. In the development server, this is the development server. Development server, no, we will do only development related activities. You can see here there is testing and sandbox. These two things also I'll explain. And whereas in quality, we will do the testing related and training related transactions here. And this production server is there. This is a real-time system where the business actually they will do their daily transactions. Coming to this development server, you see this development server. In this development server, again, so here no, as a consultant, we should be knowing this. Whatever the developments we will do in the development system, okay. So before doing the final testing, we have to do some unit testing. So that unit test, to do that unit testing in the development server itself, we'll be having another client. Here, these things are called as clients. This custom, this you can see, right? Custom means customization or development. This is called this customization or development. We call it as a client actually. So this is called as a golden client in the real time. So in the golden client only, we will do the development related activities. Either it could be customization or either could be enhancement related. So those development activities will be done in this client. This is called as a golden client in the real time. So as a client, as a consultant, right, we should be knowing. Suppose if somebody would have asked in the interview, no, so where do you do this customization or development activities? In which client you will do? You can say development client, but under development client, development server, no, which client you will do? Then you should be able to answer them. The developments or customizations will be done in the golden client in the development system. Okay, once you done some customization or developments in the golden client, no, so directly we cannot move these changes to quality system. Okay, So before moving this to quality system, right, what are the changes or what are the developments we have done? No? We need to do some unit testing. That means whatever the development we have done, whether the development is working as expected or not. For that, we need to do some unit testing. So that unit testing also will be done in the same environment. This is a development server. In the development server also, we'll be having the same unit testing client. This is a separate client. So here, whatever the development we have done, the development changes will be moved, will be copied actually, not will be moved, will be copied from this golden client to this unit testing client. So then what, after moving this development changes to this unit testing client, we can do the unit testing in this unit testing client. Once you did the testing in the unit testing client, if your actual results are coming as expected, then you can move this development changes for your quality system for further testing. See, this is the real-time testing actually. This is the real-time testing client. This is only for consultant. This system is available. This client is available. Unit testing client. So this where the quality server, quality system we are talking, right? This is available for consultants as well as business users. So why it is available for both? That means for both consultant as well as business users, right? So once whatever the developments you have done, so those developments has to be tested and approved by the business people. That we call it as a user acceptance test. For that reason, this quality client now will be accessed by both consultants as well as business team. So once the business team has tested in the quality client, and once we get approval from them only, then we can move the changes to the production. So that is the reason in the quality system, this is quality client access will be provided for both consultant as well as business team. So you can see the training. Suppose sometimes, right, this is not available in all the clients. Okay? If the client wants to have a separate training client in the quality system for the end user training or super user training. As I told you earlier, right? This end user training or super user training plays a key role in any implementation project. Why? Because already I have mentioned earlier, if you provide effective training to the end users, because ultimately they will be the executors. Once you completed the production goal, project implementation, so this end users will play the key role. If you provide effective training to this end users, then your production system will be effectively utilized. So once this production system is effectively utilized, so management, no, the business team, business manager, client management will be there, right? So they will be achieved whatever the targets they wanted to achieve by implementing SAP, right? They can achieve their targets and requirements. So that is the reason in any projects we have to more focus on this client end user training. Okay, is this clear about this landscape? Going forward, no, slowly you will get more clarity. At least no, if you are able to follow, that is fair enough for now.
Yep.
Yeah. Any questions? Any doubts?
No.
No. See, in in SAP environment, right? We have different types of projects. Okay, so you can see here, one is implementation project, another one is upgradation project, support and maintenance project, rollout project, and enhancement project. These are the different types of projects we can see in the real time. This project to project, the way the consultant roles will be different. You should be aware of that. What is our role in the implementation project? Suppose if you get a job, once you get a job, right, you should be able to understand what kind of project it is, whether it is implementation project or upgradation project or support or maintenance project, or it is a rollout project, or it is enhancement project. Then only you could be able to understand your role. So what is your role in the project? No, you have good experience, or you might be having good knowledge in SAP. if you don't know about this type of projects, right? What kind of project it is being allocated to you. So if you don't know, you will be you'll be confused actually. So what kind of role you have to play? So if you are aware of this project, what type of project it is, then you will get more clarity about your role. Okay. So if you look at this implementation project, right? This implementation project will start with the new SAP system. You can see here. Okay. So here I have given clarity. So that means it is completely new. Now, new means from the scratch SAP system design will be started. So that means in implementation project, what we will do, I will explain. So in implementation project, right? First, as a consultant, you should be knowing if it is implementation project. So from where you have to start your work, you should be aware of that. If you're not aware of that, no, what is where from where you have to start your work, no, you will be failed. So if it is implementation project, in the implementation project, as I mentioned, right, it will be started from the scratch. Scratch in the sense SAP to implement an SAP project. So what is the input required? You should be knowing the business requirement first, right? So once you get the business requirement, then only you can start designing the SAP system as per the business requirement. So to know the business requirement as a consultant, what is our role? So we need to gather the business requirement first. Okay. So that means first we need to gather the requirements from the business. So what is their business requirement? So once we get the business requirement, based on the business requirement, once you have to prepare as is document. We call it as an as is document. And based on the business requirement, we have to, as a consultant, no, we have to provide the solution from SAP point, SAP perspective. So then those two combining, we call it as a blueprinting. So this blueprint will be having what is the business requirement and what is the solution to be provided in SAP. So that document is called as a blueprint in the real time. Okay. So once this blueprinting is done, so based on this blueprinting, that means we have the business requirement and we have provided the solution also. So once we have this both information, requirement and business solution, then what we need to do, we need to start designing the system. This is a document only. Blueprinting is nothing but it's a document which is having required business requirement and what is the solution to be provided from SAP. So based on this blueprinting document, we need to start designing the SAP system. So that we call it as a realization. In this realization, what we will do, we will start doing the system design. System design is nothing but what is the solution we have provided as per the business requirement. For that, we need to start customizing or developing or whatever what kind of changes have to be done in the system. Those changes has to be done in this phase, realization. Once the system design is done, completed, then you have to do the unit testing. Here in the testing itself, right, we have multiple types of testings. One is unit testing, another one is integration testing, and the other one is user acceptance testing. This we'll see later when I'm going to explain the real-time scenarios. No, that time I will explain what type of testings we have. Okay. So once the testing, everything is done, once you get the user acceptance test in the project, no, then the things will be moved to the production client. Once the whatever the developments or customization we have done after user acceptance test, no, once those changes are moved to production server, that we call it as a go live. Okay. So once the go live is done, then in the real time there will be hypercare for 1 month. So that means after go live, immediately once the users have started using the system, right, they may get some errors. There might be some emergency. I mean, no, critically they may face they may get critical issues as medium or so whatever what kind of issues they're getting. No, so we should be able to address those uh, issues or requirements, no, immediately. So that period we call it as a hypercare. So this is the This is about all about implementation project. Is this clear? What is the what are the different activities will be done in the implementation project? And as a consultant, no, from where we have to start our work, how it will be ended as a part of go live and IP. If it is not clear, just let me know. I will explain to you once again. So you must be aware of these things. So apart from our technical knowledge, right? So these things are also very important because once you tag it to any project, no, as a consultant, you should be aware of all this functional, no, uh, nature of work once you get into the project. Okay, so here you can see the examples. We call it as a greenfield project, whether it is a greenfield implementation, brownfield implementation, hybrid implementation. So here, these are the three different types of implementation projects again. Greenfield means it will start from the scratch. Okay. So brownfield means so it will, for example, right? Already they are using some other ERP system. So some other some SAP system they wanted to start from there. Then it will be called as a brownfield project. Sometimes no, it is a combination of both. For some of the if let us say if one client is having a what do you call a large volume of business. For some of the locations, if they have implemented SAP, and for some of the implementation, they haven't implemented SAP. So in such cases, right? So this will be a combination of greenfield and brownfield. That is depending on the client requirement. Okay. Coming to this upgrade, right? Upgradation is nothing but no. If already this client is being used SAP system, they wanted to upgrade from existing version to latest version. For example, the latest version in SAP is S400. Let us say if the client is already having a ECC or some R3 SAP system. If they wanted to upgrade from the existing SAP version to latest version, that kind of projects we call it as a upgradation projects. Most of earlier no, they have upgraded from R3 to ECC. Now the latest version is S4HANA. If any clients wants to upgrade from their existing version to S4HANA, that kind of projects are called upgradation. Here you can see already existing SAP it will start from the existing SAP system. We are not starting from the scratch. Whatever the SAP system they're having, whatever the latest existing SAP version they're having, from that version, we are going to upgrade to the latest version. Okay. So here in this upgradation project, right, we have to assess. So since already they are being used SAP's environment, right? So you don't need to worry much because it is almost 70 to 80% since they're using SAP system, right? Just we wanted to upgrade to the latest version, and we have to assess why we need to assess, right? So whatever the latest version is having, right? So we need to compare with the existing version functionalities with the latest version functionalities. If there are any changes from the existing version to latest version in the existing functionalities, so accordingly, no, we need to take it. For that purpose, we need to do the system assessment, and this planning, validation, everything will be similar to our implementation. Okay. And coming to this next type of project is support and maintenance. This support and maintenance is nothing but already the client has implemented SAP, but whenever once they have implemented SAP, right, day to day they will use the SAP system for their transactions, business transactions. So during their day to day business transactions, if they have any issues or if they wanted to do some new developments or some enhancements for such kind of requirements, no, we will as a consultant, no, we will support them. If they are getting issues, we will try to fix those. We will fix those issues. If they are getting new requirements, we will address those new requirements. So such kind of projects are called support and maintenance projects, or we have a different terminology, AMS, that is application management support. Okay, you can see here existing SAP systems will use, and you can see here troubleshooting, updating, monitoring, all these things. This for your you can see system update. If there are any system updates, if there are any issues, no, we will resolve those issues. Okay. So is this clear till now?
Yes.
The next type of projects is rollout. Rollout is it's a simple. I can say it's a simple project. Simple project in the sense, right? So already, for example, no, if a client is having multiple multiple plants in different locations. Okay, so let us take if we take any automobile company, right? For example, Mahindra and Mahindra is there. Mahindra and Mahindra, they have a different, they have multiple plants in different locations. Let us say Nasik, Pune, and Hyderabad. Example. Okay, so let us say Mahindra and Mahindra has implemented SAP. Let us assume for Pune and Nasik plants. They haven't implemented for Hyderabad plant. So in such cases, right, initially they have implemented for two plants. One is for Pune and another one is for Nasik. Later, right, maybe in future or maybe later, they wanted to, let us say that the business process remains same in all the three locations. Let us assume that. In such cases, what they will do, already for the same business process requirement, already they have implemented in Pune and Nasik plant locations. So they wanted to extend the same requirement in SAP to the Hyderabad plant, for example. In such cases, right? So only there might be changes, 10 to 15% changes, not more than that, for the Hyderabad plant. In that case, no, whatever the system has been SAP is designed for the other two locations, same solution will be adapted for this new location, Hyderabad. Whatever the 10-15% changes will be there, right? For the Hyderabad specific requirement, only for those 10-15% change requirements, will provide the solutions. Okay. So here you can see all existing SAP system will be used. That means already SAP has been implemented for the other two plants. Same SAP system will be extended to the new location. You can see here I have written extended to the new locations. This is called rollout project. The next type of project is enhancement. This is enhancement is nothing but, right. This is also for the existing SAP implemented clients only. Enhancements are nothing but after implementing SAP. So as a part of their day-to-day requirements, or maybe by considering the future requirements. So if they wanted to have some new reports or new functionalities in the SAP system, for such kind of requirements, we will do some developments. In SAP technology, we call it as an enhancement. So for such kind of projects comes under this enhancement projects. Okay. You can see here, adding new modules or reports or custom developments, such kind of things. So those kind of projects under enhancement. These projects, this kind of project, we call it as a, in real time, no, AMD, application management developments. Just you need to just to try to remember this terminology. This support and maintenance projects we call in real time as a AMS projects or support or maintenance projects. So that project to project, company to company, you know, in real time also, same support and maintenance project. Some companies they will call it as AMS project. So if somebody is saying you have to work on the AMS project, you should not be blank. Then you should be able to understand AMS is nothing but support and maintenance project. Similar to the finance project. Company to company, you know, the terminology will be different. You need to adapt this terminology also. This enhancement projects also will be called as a AMD, application management development. So these are the different projects we have in SAP. So do you have any questions or doubts?
Yes, sir.
No.
Actually, when we work for Safran Aircraft Engines also, currently they are setting industrialization in Shimshabad, Hyderabad plant.
Mhm.
Actually, they have plants in France, two plants in France, and another one in Mexico, and the same thing is in Brazil. So,
Okay.
same SAP system they are planning to implement in Hyderabad plant as well.
Okay.
So that comes under as a rollout only, yeah, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Just, just to confirm that.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. Sir.
So any other questions or doubts? If nothing is there, I will move forward. See, in SAP, right, there are almost more than 100 models are there. Okay. See, in SAP, I think, I'm not sure how many of you aware of this. See, in SAP, we have basically, functional and technical. Okay, just here I have mentioned. So what are the very, very important modules are there now? So I have mentioned them only. So in SAP, we have more than 100 models. There are so many models are there. So okay, out of them, again, no, we have two categories. One is we call it as a functional, another one we call it as a technical. These are the two different categories we have in SAP. So under these functional modules, whatever the module course we are learning, right? This is production planning and control. This is a functional module. Okay. So we have other modules like material management, quality management, sales and distribution, HR, and finance and controlling, warehouse management, extended warehouse management, customer services. So like this plant maintenance, there are so many other modules out there. So what are the most important modules are there? I have mentioned. Okay. So coming to this functional model, right? This is nothing but it's a non-coding model. So in this function model, as a consultant, we are going to do, we are going to do any, we are, sorry, we are not going to do any coding. Okay. So if any coding related requirements or changes has to be done, that will comes under this technical. So in SAP, for all these functional models, we have only one coding model in SAP, that is ABAP. ABAP. Only ABAP uh, team will be doing the coding part. So rest of the people will not be doing any coding. Well, based on security, even if they are coming under as technical model, right? So they won't do any coding. Only coding related changes or developments will be done by this ABAP team. In any project, we'll be having ABAP team. See, as a functional consultant, no, if any new requirement comes, if any new report has to be developed, if any enhancement or custom object has to be developed, then we'll have to work with this ABAP coding team. Okay. This we'll see in more detail how we'll be working with this ABAP team as a functional. So these are the different function models we have, and these are the few technical models. Okay. Next thing is once you learned SAP course, any SAP course, so right. So how would be the career in SAP? So that is ultimately that is important, right? If whatever the courses we learn, there should be if you don't have if you don't have career, there is no meaning. So we should be having good career and career growth also. So this general example in the outside also the market is now it has been changed actually. So that is depending on your performance, right? So here you can see, suppose if you have a 3 to 5 years of experience, minimum will get 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Now the market, no, the market company to company, it is sometimes they are giving more than 10 lakhs also. If you have 5 years experience, okay, and if you have 5 plus of years experience, about 10 lakhs. So that is depending on your experience, more than 5 years of experience. For example, if you have 6 7 years of experience also, nowadays you are in the market, no, they're giving 20 lakhs up to 20 lakhs salary. So that is depending on your, this is completely, this is approximately I have provided this figures. Okay. So this is even no, if you have 3 years of experience, sometimes you may get 10 lakhs salary also, depending on your performance. Suppose if you have a good experience, within the 3 years of experience, if you get an opportunity to work on any implementation project, and if you have a very good knowledge, and if you perform very well in the interview, right, then you can demand 10 lakhs also. Yeah, even nowadays, right, companies are ready to give big packages. Now they're not thinking about the packages for the what do you call, experienced people. So that is completely depending on you. If you perform well in the interview, definitely even for this 3 years of experience also, you may get 10 lakhs or more than 10 lakhs. So this is approximate, just I have given these figures. But in the real-time market, it is completely different. This is depending on your talent. As a fresher also, suppose if you try, no, some of the startup companies are there. Sometimes, right, even MNCs, they don't recruit freshers. 99% they don't recruit freshers. Okay, they will go for campus recruitment for freshers. Off campus, most of the companies, most of the MNCs, they won't look for the freshers. So even yeah, some this, startup companies are there, right? If you have some luck, no, you may get a job as a fresher in startup companies. Nowadays, right, we have so many companies. See, whatever the MNCs we have, known MNC companies are there. Apart from those known MNC companies, there are so many what you call startup companies are there, mid-scale companies are there. There are so many companies there. So in those companies, no, you may get a chance as a fresher also. Actually, no, yesterday I got a requirement from one of the company. They are looking for SAP freshers. So that company name is DXC. So they are looking for SAP freshers. 9 positions are there. So sometimes we may get an opportunity in such kind of companies. So, there are chances. There are not chances. There are more chances in the abroad as a SAP consultant, right? We will get more opportunity in the upfront, not only US, UK. For PP and PP model, right? We'll get a chance in Malaysia, Singapore, and Saudi countries also. There are You have plenty of opportunities in the market. Only the thing is, if you need to have you need to be more talented. Very important. Okay. Just for your knowledge sake, no, I'll just share what are the companies in the market to see here, right? These are the list of IT companies in India. Not only in India, MNCs also. You can, I think most of the companies you are familiar. Just I'll walk you through. Just you can go. There are so many companies out there. These are all IT companies, SAP IT companies. These are the non-IT companies means who are using SAP already. These are nothing but product-based companies like Reliance, Tata Steel, Jindal, Rail. You can see there are so many companies. So that means we have a lot of opportunity in the market. Even now, if you see in the market currently, the software market is not good for other technologies. Only for SAP, now the market is too good. So that means this is a business requirement. The other technologies are depending on no, there might be some fluctuations in the market. But whereas in SAP, the market is always stable. They do might be no year ending some kind of situation, right? So the market will be a little bit slow, but throughout the year, right, maybe 2 or 3 months the market the requirement outside, the market will be little bit down. So rest of the period the market will be always stable. Always will be having requirement for the SAP courses. You can see these are the non-IT companies which are already being used as SAP. These are all automobile companies. You can see here steel. There's so many companies. Are. the automobile companies. Just for your idea, no, just I'm sharing this. In pharma industries, you can see there are so many pharma industries that are using this. Oil and gas companies, healthcare. So like this, no, there are so many companies. In all these companies, no, they are using this. Do you have any questions regarding your career perspective in SAP? No. Move forward.
Srinivas garu,
Yeah,
like, do you have any idea if Birlasoft is using SAP?
yeah, they're using SAP and they're the implementation partners.
Okay,
So actually, they're the one of the what do you call uh, prominent. I mean, no. So they're very big partner. I think they're very big partner to SAP. They're implementing a lot of projects. They
okay,
are using SAP and as well as no, they are implement. They are the implementation partners.
okay.
This is just for example. I have taken this slide. This is automobile industries now. Currently, they are using SAP. See, to implement SAP, right? As I told you, know, if you take any organization, so if you take any typical organization, right, in general, by looking at this slide, no, so I think you are all familiar with these departments in any organization. Okay, so this is nothing but it's a typical organization structure for any company. Okay, if they have manufacturing, they will be having this production department. If they don't have manufacturing, they don't have this. They will not be having this production planning and shop. But rest of the things, no, rest of the departments, no, like sales, inventory, finance, HR, vendors, purchasing, everything, right? Those departments will be there in any organization. So why I have considered this one also? If there is any manufacturing industry, that manufacturing industry also, industry will be having these two departments: production planning and shop floor execution. Nothing but production department. By looking at this slide, no, what do you understand? Any one of you can tell me. By looking at this slide.
Not in a
Any guess?
structured way of
Yeah.
activities.
See, any organization, right? So to success any organization, what they need to get orders from the customer. Correct, right? So if they wanted to do success in their business, no, any kind of business, if they don't have customers, there is no point of thinking about that business. Without customers, we cannot imagine any business. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
that by looking at the slide, no, this I'll explain to you. So the requirements will come from the customers. Okay. Once you get the requirement, I mean the order, once you get the order from the customers, so this orders will goes to sales department, right? Sales department, what they will do, so whatever the customer has placed the order, so immediately will look for the inventory. So whether that for that particular product or whatever the customer had placed, no, for that item, you look for the inventory, whether that item is available in the inventory or not. If it is available, immediately they will deliver it to the customers. Okay, that is simple, straight away. For example, whatever the customer order has placed the order, right? If let us say if it is not available in the inventory, okay. So then immediately what they will do, then they will reach out to production planning department. You can see here. Then they will So for example, let us say a customer has placed an order for some bike. Example, I'm telling. I'll take very simple example. So let us say some customer has placed an order for like some biryani, chicken biryani. Example, I'm telling. Okay. So whenever the sales department has received this order for biryani, so let us say this customer has placed for order 100 biryanis. So when he's look at this inventory or whatever the material stock is available, so let us say there is only for 90 biryanis stock, 90 biryanis stock is available. For 10 biryanis, there is no stock available. So immediately what he will do, so he will communicate to this production people. I mean, uh, to the master in the kitchen. So he will intimate to the master. So I got an order for 100 biryanis, but in the stock we have only for 90. For remaining 10, you have to start preparing. So then he will go to this production planning. In the real time, we call it as a production planning. So then he will reach out to this department. And this guy, what he will do? So to prepare that 110 remaining 10 biryanis, right? So what is the material is required? Raw material or recipe, the recipe is required, right? He will go for that. So then he will go and check the inventory again for this recipe. This here now we'll be having different inventories. One inventory is for finished product, like biryani. Another inventory for raw material, like whatever the ingredients are required to prepare that biryani, right? So we'll be having multiple inventories. So why I'm mentioning here, right? Whenever this guy, the chef is going to prepare this 10 biryanis, he will go for the raw material inventory. So whether the required raw material is available or not to prepare the 10 biryanis. If the 10 biryanis, I mean, no, if the sufficient raw material is available in the inventory, then he will pass it to the kitchen. So 10 for this to make this 10 biryanis, the sufficient raw material is available. Then he can go ahead and start preparing the biryani. So then the kitchen masters will be there. Right? They will start preparing the biryani. Example I'm telling you. Okay. Once they have prepared the 10 biryanis, again they will communicate to this sales department. You can see the amount here. Okay. So then what they will do? So once these 10 biryanis are ready, that means already 90 biryanis are available in the stock. This one after getting these 10 biryanis, then the sales department, they will be able to deliver this 100 quantity of biryanis to the customers. This is one cycle. Okay. So let us say here itself, after getting the requirement from the sales department for the 10 biryanis, another scenario I'm telling you. So let us say whatever the raw material is required, if the sufficient quantity is not available in inventory. So then what these people will do? They will have to procure it from the outside, the required raw material. So then they will place a purchase order to get the required raw material from the suppliers. So here they will, once they place the order to the suppliers will provide the required raw material. Okay. So once the supplier has provided the required raw material, so then what we need to do? We have to pay to this customer, pay to the suppliers. So then whenever we receive this raw material from the supplier, immediately one invoice will go to this finance team for the payment. Like this, no, this is a complete cycle. If you take any organization or any industry, either it could be restaurant or big companies, manufacturing companies, automobile companies, aerospace companies, pharmaceutical companies. This is the typical organized structure. This structure, I mean, these are these departments will be there in any kind of organization. Okay, this process also almost same, but scenarios might be little bit different, but at a higher level, the entire process will be remains. Okay, so is this clear? So how any organization looks like? No? If you take any automobile company, for example, if you get an order for car, example car, if you get an order for car, whenever you get an order for car, right? So customer, if the customer has placed for a car with red color, suppose in the inventory, if the red color car is available, immediately will deliver it. If the red color call is not available, they will communicate to this customer. So and so time it will take. Okay. So waiting period, no, they will tell them this is the waiting period to get our red color call. So then what they will do? So they will communicate to this customer, and meantime, they will pass that information to the production department. So we got a order for the red color car from the customer. Then you need to start making that red color car. So this production planning department, no, again they will look for the required raw material to manufacture the red color car. If all the required raw materials are available to manufacture that red color car, then they will pass that information to the production department. So all the required raw material is available to start the red color car production. Then based on that, this production department, they will start executing to make that red color. Okay. So once the car manufacturing is completed, again they will pass it to the sales department. Okay. This is another example. So is this clear? How any organization know how it will looks like. So this is how no. If you take as a consultant, right? If you go to any project or any client, this structure almost will be same. Only slight difference will be there. 90 to 95% same structure will be. Is this clear or any questions or doubts?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing, no? Just what I explained to you. You can say theoretically. A typical enterprise or company has many departments or business units, and these departments or business units continually communicate and exchange the data with each other. And here you can see, so the success of any organization, it lies in the effective communication and data exchange within the departments, as well as associated with third parties such as vendors, outsourcers, and customers. Whenever this effective communication and data exchange has happened, no, within the departments of the same company and outside third parties, then only that organization will be succeed. This is very important. To happen this, to happen this effective communication and effective data exchange within the departments, right? So if you see, in the coming slide, I'll explain to you. So this is before implementing SAP. Same thing as I explained earlier, right? Suppose before implementing SAP, what will happen, right? To pass the customer order information from the sales department to manufacturing, right? If they don't use any ERP system, either SAP or some other ERP system, what will happen, right? They need to communicate this information after getting the order from the customer. That information, to pass that information to this manufacturing department, either they need to send a mail communication or they need to send some documentation to this department. Okay. So similarly, once this manufacturing is completed, once the product is ready for delivery, again, this production department, what they will do, either they will communicate through mail or they will pass some documents to the sales department. So this is how no, it will happen in other departments also, to communicate between other departments. This is before implementing SAP. So then what will happen if to pass this information after getting the order by the sales department, if there is any delay passing this information to manufacturing department, what will happen? It will impact the delivery date of the customer. To avoid that impacting the delivery date of the customer, if you are able to pass that information whenever the sales department received that sales customer order, immediately if that same information has been passed to this production department, they will come to know that so there is some order placed by the customer for so and so product. Immediately they will start doing the production. So that means it will save the time and they can able to meet the customer requirement. So that means that by having this effective communication of effective communicating and effective exchanging the data between these two departments, right, the customer will be happy. The end point is if they're able to deliver to the customer as per their requirement date, then the customer will be happy. Ultimately, if the customers are happy, if the customer satisfaction is very good, then what will happen? Then that organization will be, no, there will be more chances to success that organization. So to achieve this customer satisfaction, the information has to be communicated effectively. if sorry, if the SAP or any other ERP system is not implemented, so then, as I mentioned earlier, right, it will take some time to pass the information from one department to another department, or vice versa, from this department to this department. Or sometimes, no, there might be some delay. So these things will cause no a delay in the delivery to the customer. So ultimately, if there is any delay to the customer, right, then what will happen? The customer will not be happy at all. So it will impact the business of the organization. So to avoid those things, right? So this information has to be communicated, information or whatever the communication is, right? Data, no, that has to be effectively communicated between each department. To do that, there should be some mediator. Either it could be SAP or any other SAP ERP system. So as I mentioned earlier, right, if we implemented SAP, the information from one department to another department, it will communicate effectively in the sense it will be online. It will be immediately, it will be communicated to the other department. Whereas in other ERP system, right, since they don't have a integration between one department and the other department in the other ERP systems, no. So even there also, there might be chances to delay. But whereas in SAP, there is no chance to get delay to pass the information from one department to another department, like manufacturing to purchasing, purchasing to finance, finance to HR, all these things. This is the entire cycle. Okay. If we implemented SAP, how this information will be communicated effectively, I will show you in the next slide. If you see here, so as I mentioned earlier, right? Suppose if there is a order from the customer, so that order will be received by the sales department. Once the order is received by the sales department, what will happen, right? This will be updated on the SAP server. Okay. So immediately, whenever they receive this order from the customer, once they have updated in the SAP server, this information automatically will get reflected to this production department. There no need to wait till this sales department is passing that information to this production department. So whenever they get an order from the customer, that order details immediately will get reflected to this production department. So then what will happen? So whenever this production department guys know, if they come to know that there is a customer order for so and so product, so they will look at the inventory from their point of view also. So if there is sufficient stock available in the inventory, that is fine. There is no need to take any further action. If sufficient stock is not available, immediately they will start doing their production planning and production process. So that means within no time, this production department people will come to know that there is a customer order. Since we don't have sufficient stock to deliver to the customer, so for how much quantity they need to plan, they will start doing that production planning and production process. Similarly, if there is any shortage to start the production, right? If there is any shortage in case of raw materials, required raw materials, so then what will happen there? That shortage, whenever once they started doing this production planning, no, after production planning, this production department will come to know that if there is any shortage of the raw material or sufficient stock is available. If they let us say if there is a shortage for some raw materials, so whenever this production people, production planning department, they arrived, there is some shortage for so and so raw material. That information again they no need to pass it to this material management. That means purchasing department. That shortage quantity for which material there is shortage there, that information automatically will get reflected to this purchasing department. This is called material management. We call it SAP material management. So that information automatically, immediately it will get reflected to this people. So that means immediately this purchasing people, they will start doing their procurement process to get their raw materials. Similarly, finance and controlling is nothing but costing related, product costing related, costing and other things. So this is how no. After implementing SAP, the data or communication will be shared within the departments of the same organization more effectively. So this is nothing but no, it's an online, complete everything is online. So there is no need manual. I think no, 95% there will be no manual intervention. Only 5% no, there will be some approvals kind of things will be there. For such kind of approval things, some manual intervention will be there. So other than that, 90 to 95% of the data will be online to all the departments. So if they have the updates, each departments, if they have the latest updates, no, then they will, whatever the actions they have to take from their end, they will start working on those action points. So this is how no, any organization, if any orders or if any requirements comes from the customer to meet their customer requirements and to deliver to the customers as per the requirement date, no, they could be able to achieve by implementing SAP. So as I mentioned earlier, right, if you consider any other SAP ERP system other than SAP, this is called integration between one department to other department. Whereas in as a SAP consultant, right, we should be knowing the integration between SD and PP, PP and MM and finance, finance and CO, like that. So this I will see in more detail when we are discussing the other topics. So this kind of integration is not there in other ERP systems. This kind of integration is there only in SAP. So that was the reason, no, it is leading in the market. Okay. So any questions or doubts? Is it clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the our PP model overview. So in the PP model, we have master data, and this is planning related data, and planning and production execution data. This I'll show you in more detail. What are the topics we'll be covering now in the upcoming course. So here now we have seen this introduction to SAP, RNA structure, and functions and objectives of PP model. So here, if you see this, this is a course content. These are the different topics we'll be covering in the upcoming classes. Okay. So we have master data. This is called PP master data. It contains material master, bill of material, work center, routings, and reference operation set. And this is planning related data, sales and operation planning. It covers all these topics. Okay. And the next topic is demand management. This demand management covers so how to plan, what are the strategies to be implemented based on the requirement. Okay. I think you guys might be aware of this make to stock, make to order. So any one of you can tell me what do you understand by make to stock or make to order? In most of the industries, right, you will follow this. Even in general also, I think you might be aware of this, but maybe you are not aware of this technology. Make to stock, make to order, right? So most of the our production model will be discussed around this 90, not 90, almost 99%. We'll discuss about these two scenarios. Make to stock in the sense, right? For example, in general, I will give you one small example. As I told you earlier, right? Suppose if you placed a order in Zomato for a biryani, example. So what they will do? If you place the order for a biryani in Zomato, so what they will do? Whenever you place your order, right? So they will start doing packing and they will deliver it to you. Okay. I'll tell you the difference between these two. So whenever you place the order for a pizza, right? Pizza with your custom requirement, some toppings, some cheese, adding some extra cheese, something like that. So what they will do? When after receiving your order only, they will start making that your to meet your additional custom requirement. No, they will start preparing. Whereas in case of make to stock, that biryani already they will make it and they will make it and keep it ready. Whenever you place a order, immediately they will deliver it. They won't wait for your order to start preparing the biryani. They will already make it and keep it ready. So such kind of scenarios comes under make to stock. So whereas make to order, right? So after receiving your order only, they will start making that kind of things comes under make to order. For example, this simple general example I told you. If you take in the another example, right? Suppose if you want to buy a bike, for example, pulsar bike example. So after you placing the order, they will start manufacturing the pulsar bike, or directly you can go to the showroom and you can get it. Directly they will be ready, right? They will already they manufacture the pulsar bike and they will give it. They will deliver it to you. That means there might be some waiting period. That is depending on the
Demand.
to get it from the manufacturing plant. Except that already they will manufacture that bike and they will deliver it to you. But whereas suppose if you place an order for Rolls Royce car, will it be readily available?
No.
So once you placed your order, based on once you after placing the order only, they will start manufacturing the Rolls Royce car. That kind of requirement comes in this make to. So most of the this production planning model will be discussed around these two kind of different processes. So this is material requirement planning. This is another topic. So what is the materials required to manufacture the product? We'll discuss in more detail. And the next one is production execution and repetitive manufacturing. This I will discuss. This is another topic. These are the different types of manufacturing process. This will discuss. And the process industries. This will be used in the pharmaceutical industries, chemical manufacturing, chemical industries. No? This kind of food industries, they will follow this process PPPA. We call it as process industries manufacturing. This is a different type of manufacturing process. And batch management. This is another topic. And so what kind of configuration or system design now we have to do. We will discuss PP configuration. These are the different topics we'll be covering in the PP course and integration between other modules. PP integration with MM, VM, CO, and SD. This is the complete course content. This I'll share with you. You can go through that. I'll share in the group. WhatsApp group I have created. I'll share it there. Okay.
Okay.
So do you have any questions or any doubts?